Welcome to Money Talk with Tiff, a podcast where we discuss everything money from tips and tricks to current events. Follow me on my journey to become debt-free and meet other cool people along the way. I am your host, Tiffany Grant. Now let's talk money. Hey y'all, so I wanted this episode to be about the infamous emergency fund. Emergency funds are so important, and I can't stress that enough because you need to have some money saved before you even start tackling debt. And the reason for that is, let's say for instance, you don't have any money saved and you pay off your credit card. Well, an emergency comes up, you're going to have to run that credit card back up to where it was, or worse in some cases. So it's best to go ahead and have an emergency fund set up, at least partially. I go by the Dave Ramsey rule, and I'm doing air quotes right now, but I like to have at least $1,000 saved before I start tackling anything else. And I feel like $1,000 is safe. I think that's sound advice because most emergencies aren't going to cost over $1,000. So I feel like that's a good starting point. Now, once you get out of debt and, get closer to your goals, then you can move up to the 3 to 6 month emergency fund, which is the industry standard when it comes to a full funded emergency fund. Now, I keep my emergency fund. I still have the baby emergency fund, so I still only have about $1,000 in a savings account, and I house it over at Ally Bank. And I do that because online banks, they carry higher interest rates. So, it doesn't have to be Ally. It could be Marcus, which is owned by Goldman Sachs. There's a variety of different options out there, but I highly recommend holding your savings account there. And there's a few reasons why I say this. Well, A, you can get a better interest rate than you can from a local bank or a national bank. And when I say a higher interest rate, I'm talking a lot more in interest. So for instance, my current Ally savings is at, I believe, a 2.2%. And at a national bank, your average savings account is probably going to be like a 0.15, or I'm at a credit union, so that one is a 0.75, and that's generous for, brick and mortars. So definitely look into an online savings account. Another reason why I use online is because it takes a little bit more to get your money. So, I may put in a request and it may take, maybe a couple of days or so to actually get the funds deposited into my account. That's good because I'm not instantly dipping in whenever I run into emergency, and I'm using air quotes again. And it's not as easy to get to. So I have to sit there and think about that thing. Like, is this really an emergency, or is it just an emergency in my mind? Is this pair of shoes really an emergency, or is this new gadget thing really an emergency? So definitely make sure that you are looking at that, and it would be a really good investment. It breaks my heart that these banks are only giving us like 0.15 in interest. Like, that's not even keeping up with inflation, not even close. So every day you're practically losing money, So anyway, make sure you have some savings saved up before you do anything else, because it will save you some heartache down the road. All right, well, I'll keep this short and sweet. You have a good one. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the Money Talk with Tiff podcast. For free resources and materials, head over to moneytalkwitht.com. And while you're there, why not sign up for our newsletter so you'll never miss an episode? Talk to you soon.